Welcome to the True Grime Stories podcast, where in every episode, we'll unravel a new mystery of cleaning business transformation from a grimy mess to a great success. Join me, your host, Jeannie Henderson, as together we dig up cleaning business secrets that you've been dying to know. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to True Grime Stories. I'm your host, Jeannie Henderson. And if you want to grow your cleaning business or maybe even just get started, I'm so glad you're here. You are in the right place. And today we are going to be talking with one of my friends who's been in the cleaning industry for quite a few years and has grown a great business up in Alaska and just recently added a second location in Arizona, and that is Pristine Beers. She is with White Lilac Cleaning in Wasilla, Alaska, and just recently opened her second location in Mesa, Arizona. So that's a great strategy there, having that like snowbird business that, you know, she can have her home business and one where her like second home is. So that's a great strategy. And she started in 2018 with cleaning homes and vacation rentals and businesses. And she's very committed to eco-friendly cleaning, which many of us do use those green products, and also committed to building a great team. She's very involved in her local business community and involved in charities as well. So thank you, Pristine, for being here. I'm so glad that we finally got you on True Grime Stories.
All right. Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm excited to talk.
Yeah, I'm sure you've got some great grime stories in there with all the years that you've been in the business.
I do, yes. And actually, I have three locations. I have Wasilla, Alaska, Anchorage, Alaska, and then the Mesa, Arizona location. So
Oh my
actually three.
goodness. Okay, three. You know, and I thought you were in Anchorage, so I'm glad you
Yeah.
brought that up. I should have asked earlier because before we got on the call today and I looked at your bio and I thought, I thought she was in an Anchorage. So good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
Yeah.
brought that up. Yeah, and so that's great. And a lot of people do think about multiple locations. So that's an interesting topic to talk about. When did you open your second location? About how big was your business?
I opened my second location when I was hitting about 45,000 a month.
Hmm.
I wanted to expand into a larger population, which Anchorage has a much larger population than the town that I'm in.
Right.
And I was watching the market and I saw that there wasn't a lot of really strong cleaning businesses in that market. So that's when I decided just to launch Anchorage. It was a struggle, figured it out. We're still learning, but that was 2.5 years ago, I think, is when we
Yeah.
started the Anchorage location. It might be
Great.
close to three actually. So
Great. So
yeah.
now total, what's your total revenue then? If you're at 45,000
I'm
then.
pushing about 72.
Great. Wow. Congratulations. That's a nice big business. I'm sure
Yeah.
there's a lot of people out there going like, wow. I mean, they probably, you know, there are a lot of us that in the beginning if we do 72,000 in a year, uh, that's a big deal. So it's
Yeah.
great to hear that. And I think that gives a lot of people excitement, you know, to realize there's so much opportunity in the cleaning
Yes.
industry.
There
Yeah.
definitely is a lot of opportunity. I haven't met my goals, but I life gets in the way sometimes and it's okay to not get there when I my with my expectations. It's okay. But I'm still working toward those goals and then my team knows that we're working toward those goals and we'll get there.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes we set goals arbitrarily and then we realize, oh, I didn't think about this or I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Or something happens and you have to have that flexibility. My own team is going through that right now. We had set some really big goals for this quarter, but you know, we had some really serious life issues happening for some of our team members. And we're like, you know what? We're just going to put that off to the side and just keep things running. And that's a
Yeah.
win right there in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. For
You
sure.
know,
Yeah.
when the going gets rough, we just keep moving forward. So how did you
Yeah.
get started? Did you start cleaning in the field or you know, had you
Yes,
been
I
in business
did.
before?
I basically, a little background, I was a homeschool mom
Okay.
of our daughter and worked a little bit part-time, had some cleaning experience in remote Alaska before. I we had our daughter, and then I just worked a little bit in the summertime here and there and seasonal work. And then when she
Mhm.
graduated, I was like, empty nester, what do I do? Never
Oh,
gone to college.
wow.
Don't know
Yeah.
what is my next step. So I decided, well, I'll make a little money cleaning. I know how to clean. So I started just putting some ads out and started cleaning and quickly realized that I wanted to grow. Like I did not want to be in the field. Like it was fun when I was 20, but it's not so fun now. And so that's kind of where it started and launched from there.
Yeah, and I'm sure once you got out there and you're doing a great job, your business starts growing pretty rapidly when you realize you can't do it all with your two hands if you're going to keep taking more customers. So that's really that
Yeah.
moment, like that moment of truth. Either I'm growing or I'm not, you know.
Yes. Yes, for
And
sure.
yeah. So, well, I'm glad you did, and I'm glad
Me
that
too.
I got to meet you. It's been several years. Gosh, I can't remember which major in-person event we met at, but I've always been impressed that you travel from Alaska uh, down to come to all these live events. That just shows your commitment to improving, investing in yourself and
Hmm.
growing your business. So, you're in your cleaning business, you're starting to grow. Um, think about a time when you just ran up against a wall or you had a problem that you couldn't figure out, something that you were struggling with for a while. Because we really like to talk about grime scenes here. So we want to get down and dirty and find out something that you struggled with because it's encouraged to all of us to know that we're not alone in the struggle,
Yeah,
right?
totally. I guess that I would go back to in the beginnings, I hadn't really thought forward like it was great. Oh, I got this client, and that's great. And then I thought, started to realize and dawn on me that if I don't do this myself, I don't have any revenue. And this client's expecting me to be there every other Tuesday, and I can't do the things that I want to do, like go camping in
Mhm.
the summer or go fishing.
Mhm, mhm,
And so that's when my mind started thinking about, I see the revenue potential, the opportunity that's there, the need that's there, but the path that I'm on is not feasible for me and it's not the direction I wanted to go. And that mostly, is because I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do, but I wanted to spend time with my family and do some traveling and we
mhm,
couldn't. And so that was the trigger that was like, I need help because this is not where I want to stay.
mhm. Yeah, and a lot of people don't think about that when they're entrepreneurs, especially when they're doing the type of work where you're doing it with your own 2 hands, that you basically are chained to that job because
Yeah.
if you aren't doing it, there is no revenue
Yes, exactly.
when it's dependent on your 2 hands, and so
Yes.
there is no paid vacation there, like so
No.
to be able to have that kind of time freedom and that's location freedom that you can go somewhere else, you do have to start relying on others.
Absolutely. Yes.
So,
And that's hard.
yeah. So how was it in the beginning when you first started hiring?
When I first started hiring, I was lucky and thank God I found a couple of really good employees that were super helpful, but I stayed in the field. There was a huge mindset shift that had to happen before I actually pulled myself out of the field, because it's my baby, it's my business, this is my client, and they know my face. And if somebody messes up, it reflects back on me. And the
Mhm.
trust factor with my employer, are they going to do as good as job as I do? I know that I will take the care and time to get it done right. And what if there's an issue or somebody gets hurt? I mean, there's all the things that could potentially go wrong in starting with an employee. And
Mhm.
so
Yeah, we
I
do that. We
finally
focus on all the things that are gonna go wrong if
yes,
we step out of
yes,
the field instead of all the things that could go right.
exactly. And so that mindset shift was very slow, just getting involved with CBF was a huge game changer for me. I was listening to some other podcasts and, taking in a lot of information and researching on my own. But CBF was definitely a game changer for me. Obviously, been in CBF for a long time.
Mhm.
But it helped me to realize that I have to let go of that fear. It was really my mindset of fear. Like, I don't want to fail at this. I've tried other businesses that didn't work. This is
Mhm.
something I'm passionate about. And so that was a really hard thing, but I still work through it, but I made leaps and bounds from those beginning years.
So how long did it take you from the time you started hiring people till when you stopped cleaning yourself? How long did you
Um,
stay
I
in the field
think
after that?
I think I was in CBF for probably about a year before I was like, okay, I am not going back in the field. I am done. I think it was about a year. And there was a lot of issues with that too, because I had created a relationship with my employees at that time. And I had a guilt. I had a guilt, like, I
Yes.
need to be out there. I need to be out there with them. What do they think I'm doing? Sitting in my office or watching TV or, and I'm trying to run the back of the business, but I still feel obligated and that I should be with them, and sometimes I would
Mhm.
get comments like, "Oh, we wish you were in the field. You're so fun to work with." And
Yeah, and
um
it does, it gets to your heartstrings, doesn't it?
yes, it does. And if somebody calls out sick and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to call this client because I don't have anybody to do it. And there were times when I'm like, I'll just go do it. And I had to draw the
Mhm.
line and say, I am not going to do it. I'm going to call the client and we're going to reschedule because I'm not going back in the field. And so that was
And
the
when you
line in the
started
sand.
doing that, what did you learn from that? What did you discover when you really drew the line in the sand?
Discovered that my business can run without me. That they can clean without
Wow.
me. They don't need me to watch over them. I was still doing house checks and things like that, but
Mhm.
I can trust other people. I can train other people. There are good working cleaning technicians out there that want and love this kind of work.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing though? Because we spend so much energy trying to fix a problem that really doesn't need to be
Hmm.
fixed. We
Yeah.
think, "Oh, I can't possibly reschedule this client," or
Hmm.
whatever, but they don't expect you to come clean. Like, when
Yeah.
I call the plumber, there's a plumber here in town that his business is named after him, and I don't his name is Dan. I don't expect Dan to show up if the plumber is sick,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for some reason in the cleaning business, we think, people expect Pristine to come or expect Jeannie to come, and they don't. People really don't expect it. They understand.
Mhm. Yeah, they do get past it. It was a little difficult because some of those clients were my legacy clients. They were my
Mhm,
first clients that got my business going. And
mhm.
when I would show up with somebody else, like, oh, so and so is going to help today. And, next week I won't be here. And, oh, okay. And for them, it's a trust factor. Do they trust me enough to pick the
Mhm,
right person to be in
mhm.
the position I was in? Because we're in their precious space, their home. So,
Right.
it was a mindset for them a little bit too, some of my clients, but it worked because I haven't been in the field in a long time.
Yeah, yeah. So, and, were you able to once you got out of the field, did you keep going back in, or were you able to stay out permanently?
I pretty much stay out permanently. I think a couple of times I would go do a house check,
Mhm.
or if there was an issue with new cleaning technicians, I might come in and just oversee. But I pretty much am not on the schedule. When you have a schedule and you're like, here's Pristine's schedule, and this is the day she can work. There is no schedule for me.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
an option.
awesome. Well, and that's a really big moment in cleaning business fundamentals. We call that becoming mop free.
Yep.
And this is something that many people never are able to achieve, or they never feel
Hmm.
truly comfortable with it. And you mentioned something. I was waiting for you to say this word that you felt guilty not being out there cleaning, like there's something wrong with not cleaning. But I noticed that your title is CEO, right? So you are the chief executive officer of your business. Um,
Yes.
so what does being a CEO now look like for you?
I never thought I would have that title, that's for sure. Um, it's humbling to see that it doesn't just take me to run this business. I'm the head of it and I'm the visionary. of what it's going to look like. But it's humbling to see other people step behind you and encourage you and go, "Oh, I'm all in. Like, what do we need to do? How can we solve this problem?" And you're impacting and changing their lives as well. So
Mhm.
that I love because it's the people and the connection, that the people that I work with, the clients that we're helping. That's really a part that I love about being in this position, I guess. You, I'm an eternity thinker. I want to make an
Mhm.
eternity impact, not just an
Yeah,
impact today.
right.
And that's always been my goal. So
That's
I have that
great.
opportunity now.
I love that you brought that up. And let's stop right here. We'll come back and talk some more about this, but we've mentioned cleaning business fundamentals a little bit. So I want to share something from our sponsor, Cleaning Business Fundamentals, and then we'll be right back and we'll talk about that mindset of growth. Is your cleaning business a grime story? There's no need to stay stuck in the muck because you're not alone. With over 500 active members and more than 500 graduates of our Cleaning Business Fundamentals program, CBF is the #1 cleaning business academy in the world and has created more mop free millionaires than any program in the industry. Learn more and let CBF take your residential cleaning business from a grime story to a gleaming success. Welcome back, everyone, to True Grime Stories. I'm here today with Pristine Beers, who is with us from Alaska. Are you in Alaska right now?
Yes, I am. It's
Okay, you're
summertime.
nice right now, yep. And, but she also has a business in Arizona, and she is the CEO of White Lilac Cleaning. And before the break, we were talking about what it's like to be a CEO now of the cleaning business. A lot of times entrepreneurs start businesses, and we just don't think with that long-term mindset. But you're talking very long term. You're talking eternity, right? So
Mhm.
you want to make an impact with your business and your life in the lives of other people. So what does that look like for you in your business? How are you living that out?
For me, I'm a strong believer, so I go back to biblical principles in running my business. And I want every employee to feel respected and honored, and that I give that to them, and I would expect that back. I do apply a lot of grace,
Mhm.
probably more than some people would. Um,
Yeah,
I
we tend to
know
do
that,
that. We tend to do
yeah,
that a lot as business owners, give people a lot of grace, but I think, in the long run it pays off, you know,
I think so.
with
I
people
think when
reciprocating.
people end up leaving or we have to let somebody go, I hope that their experience was still positive, even though wasn't the right place for them, in
Mhm.
that time of their life. That I still was a positive impact, on them for however long, if short term or long term, that they were
Mhm.
working with us.
Well, and I think this is a really great topic because we want to make a difference in on this earth. And a lot
Hmm.
of times we start a business out of necessity, a little bit of
Hmm.
extra income, or in your case, you're an empty nester, you have this extra time. And we start it for one reason, but then we get into it and we start to see that we really can have an impact in the lives of
Hmm.
people that God puts into our lives. And I talk to many cleaning business owners who do want to live out their faith, whatever that is, through their business. And it sounds like you've really found a way to do that. So now that you have this impact freedom, not only do you build time freedom and financial freedom, but you can also build impact freedom with your
Hmm.
business. Kind of what is that? How does that look on a day to day basis? What are some of the things that you're doing with your team to kind of make that kind of have that generational or eternity minded impact in their lives?
Hmm. Mostly it's living by example. I want to live my life as an example of Christ. And when there is an issue, coming to the table with compassion and empathy, but also a strong leadership and working through problems, but always trying to point them back to the gospel.
Mhm.
We recently were having an issue and with one of my staff, and I kind of just pointed out this is what we can do right now to help fix this problem, but the reason this is with this issue that we're having is really a symptom of another problem. And all I can do is lead you back, go to your Bible. That's
Mhm,
what I say, go to your Bible, because
mhm,
only the Lord's going to be able to fix the heart issue. I can direct you there, I can encourage you, but I can't change that brokenness inside of you.
mhm,
And He is the one that will renew your mind and renew your heart. So I'll be here as much as I can, but you have to take that step personally
mhm,
to make that
mhm.
impact and change for yourself.
Yeah. Well, and I just love how your faith is being expressed, through the way that you're caring for your people, and how it, impacts their lives forever. Um,
Yeah, and
you
not
know,
only them, but their children and their if or grandchildren, they and the people around them, how they talk about, oh, Christine's been my boss for 2 years and I love her. And, oh, by the way, she's a Christian and she talks about it. Oh, well, what does that mean for you? I've never worked for somebody like that before. So that spreads, so that's what I want. That's what I want.
well, and that is just so great that you can live out your faith as a CEO, of a growing business, now growing into multiple locations and, impacting more lives. So, how many people on all your teams together now?
I think I have 17
Okay.
account. But that changes with employees in the field. You might have
Yes.
11 today and then you have 14 tomorrow. Yeah, that's always changing, but that's okay. We
Right.
just keep pushing forward.
Well, and you say that just so like, oh, that's okay. But for a lot of people, they'd be like, what? And, let's just be real. In the cleaning business, the human power, human resource thing fluctuates. It fluctuates a
Yes.
lot. And we just need to accept that that's part of our business. We can do things
Hmm.
to be more prepared for it, do a better job at it, create better longevity and loyalty in our teams. But that's something we
Yeah.
have to accept and build our
Hmm.
business around that. And that's
Yep.
one of the surprises that new entrepreneurs are in for is, managing a
Yes.
team is something that takes perseverance,
Yes.
fortitude, and
Yes.
probably a lot of prayer.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
For
Well,
sure.
I think that's really great, and what a blessing for your team members to have encountered you. I think that a lot of people don't realize how much an employer can impact the lives of the people that are part of their business. They just
Hmm.
think, well, we're just making money and we're,
Hmm.
we're giving people jobs, but there's a heart issue to it as well.
Yes. Yeah. One of my employees just recently bought her first home, which is super exciting. And I've seen, employees buy new vehicles. They've never owned a new vehicle before. So that's exciting, um, because they feel confident in their job and they're confident in the
Mhm,
longevity of the position that I've provided for them. But on with that is I want to see that they have seen their goals met too as well. Like they wanted to buy a house and she's been with me for 4 years and she's finally just got this house. And so she has seen that that goal can be met with hard work and dedication and commitment.
mhm, mhm.
And I hope that as my employee and me as her leader, that she has seen something in me that sparked that desire to keep going and not give up, even when it was hard.
Yeah, that's so great. So now you've got me thinking about people's goals, and goals are such an important part of that. We were talking about earlier. It's like even if you're not reaching your goals, it at least gives you the direction.
Hmm.
Because if you don't say where, if you don't know where you're going, you're definitely going to get there. But it's like if you have some direction, at least you know where you want to go. And it sounds like do you have conversations with your team members about their personal goals too?
We do, yeah. I mean, not as probably as much as I should,
Mhm,
honestly. But we do talk about in meetings and one on
mhm,
one, like, oh, I'm really wanting to pay off a credit card, or
mhm,
I've got a couple employees who are wanting to work with some special needs family members and help with some of their care. And this job has allowed them to help. So that's really
mhm,
cool. And so, yeah, it comes up in conversation, probably not as
mhm.
much as it should.
Yeah.
uh, so,
Yeah, but it is really great, and just think about that. So some people never achieve the dream of owning a home. And I think when we start the cleaning business, we don't realize that we actually can help people do that in this
Hmm.
business. If you
Yes.
structure your business the right way, you can pay people well enough that they can get their first home or get a new
Yeah.
car, or pay off
Hmm.
their debt. Things that are life changing,
Yes, for sure.
and generational change, like you mentioned, their children and their grandchildren will be impacted by that.
Yeah, absolutely. That is the goal.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that people will look back who worked with you and think, "Oh, when I worked with White Lilac, it changed my life."
Hmm. I hope so.
And, yeah, no, I'm
I
sure
might
that you
not see it
will.
on I might not see it on this side of heaven, but on the other side, I'll know.
That's right. Yeah, you'll be that one and sometimes it's really interesting. Sometimes it's the person you don't even realize you're impacting their life, and you might come
Hmm.
across them years later or in heaven someday, and they're like, that time that you did this."
Hmm.
And, yeah, so my husband and I just talked with a young person who we knew when he was very young, a little boy, and, he came back to visit us, and it was so
Nice.
sweet, but he said, "You were pivotal in my life." And
Nice. That's awesome.
if there's anything that we're here for, I think that's it,
Hmm.
is
Yeah.
to make a difference. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Pristine. And I think when you're doing that, when you're doing your business for the right reasons, the other stuff falls into place.
Yes. I mean, I think that if you have the right mindset, um, and the right long-term goals, it will fall into place. If it's just a money thing, you're going to struggle because you're never going to reach that goal of where you need to be. It's always going to be more. It's always going to be more.
Mhm.
Obviously, money is good. It helps us
Right.
to do things. It gives us opportunities that we didn't have. But you have to have a goal other than just the financial part of it. How does this job make you feel? How does this business make you feel? How does it affect others?
Mhm.
And if you love your business or hate your business, you have to gauge, do I really want to be in this business? Or, if I'm just doing it for the money, which it's an easy business for anybody to start. Go on any Facebook group and see how many new businesses popped up today that are cleaning companies.
No
Um,
kidding.
it's easy to start, but it's harder to stay with it and actually create a business, not just a job.
I love that. It's easy to start, but it's hard to stay with it. You have to be intentional and
Mhm.
know what you truly want from it. Uh, and it can't be just money. You're so true. That's so true. Well, we do have a lot of people following us who are, just getting started in the cleaning business. So that's great. It's a great piece of advice for them to hear. But if you meet someone, and I know you meet lots of people in the cleaning industry, but if you're meeting someone in the cleaning industry, or just getting started as any type of entrepreneur, kind of what's one thing you wish you would have known in the beginning, or a piece of advice that's really helped you get to where you are today?
I think probably one of the biggest things was investing in my own training and learning and skills. Um, I knew that I came into this business pretty blind. All I knew was how to clean. I didn't know all the other parts of a business. How do you
Mhm.
manage your books? How do you manage employees and their payroll and taxes and what my numbers should look like? All of those things. What should my profit look like? What are my expenses? Um, and so investing in learning how to do it the right way instead of from somebody who's already done it. Obviously, Debbie is great. Love
Mhm.
Debbie. um, I didn't have to do all the tripping and falling because she could give me the plan and I can follow the
Yeah, Debbie
plan.
had the skid knees.
Yeah.
She did all the tripping and falling, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I'm kind of a go-getter, like just tell me what to do and I'll do it. I don't really want to spend a lot of time trying to figure it out because I do in some ways, but I just want to know this is the path I'm wanting to go on. And if it worked for you, what did you do? Because
Mhm.
I'd rather see success and impact than a lot of failure on my part and then just discouragement because it's not working, and did I make the wrong decision? And um, yeah, you know, there was a huge answer to prayer when I started working with Debbie, very specific about working with her. And so
Mhm.
I started out with her, I think in the fall of 2018. So it was pretty quick.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I started just before that, and so true that, we could spend, years in the desert, right, trying
Mhm.
to
Yes.
find our way, but instead, when you find someone who's done it before you and you connect with them and they start guiding you in the right direction, it's a shortcut. I always say to
Hmm.
people, having a coach or finding a program that teaches you how to run your business, it's not the easy button. There's usually a lot of work involved. You
Hmm.
still have, like you said, you still got to be a go-getter, but it is the treasure map. It shows you where to dig. Um,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
don't have to dig 20 holes to figure it out. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's so good. Well, thank you so much for being here today and being part of True Grime Stories. I love your story of impact, not just in this lifetime, but in the next. I think that's really a
Awesome.
beautiful way to run your business, and it's been inspiring. You have 3 locations, and I think that we're going to keep watching your rising star because you're making a difference in the cleaning industry for sure. So thank you so much, Pristine.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here, and it was nice getting to chat with you. We don't get to chat very often
I
when we're at
know.
events.
We
It's
have a whole
so
whole half hour
busy.
to talk. We don't get to do that,
Yeah.
so that's so great. Yeah,
For
and
sure.
thank you to everybody who joined us today, who's listening or watching this podcast. We hope that you have found it inspiring. And if you have, please share this with a friend, and share it on social media. We would really appreciate it if this impacted you. Make sure and spread the word, pass it on. And
Awesome.
thank you for coming back each week for every new episode. And we look forward to seeing you next time on True Grime Stories. Thanks, everyone. That's a wrap on today's True Grime Stories. Thanks for joining us in uncovering the secrets of cleaning business success. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and download, and check out our show notes for links and info from today's episode, and to learn more about our sponsor, Cleaning Business Fundamentals. Join us next time as we solve another True Grime story.